Good morning, everyone. Welcome to WOSU Studio at COSI. Thanks to the mayor and our panel for being here today. Let me start off with the first question. And Mayor, let me ask you the question to the mayor. Mayor, can you share how the 2002 plan came to be?
Well, in 2002, in cooperation and through great community effort, we developed the Downtown Business Plan. Alex Shoemate led the community effort in that regard. And the reason we developed that Downtown Business Plan was simply that, you know, I noticed, I think everybody noticed, after 5 o'clock, and you know, you could roll a bowling ball down broad and high, and you wouldn't hit anybody. And it was very clear that after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, people in this city made a mass exodus out of downtown. Very few people lived downtown and wasn't much activity. We had the beginnings of a great arena district, but we still had so much more to go. And so we brought in some consultants and brought the community together thanks to Alex Shoemate, and we put together this Downtown Business Plan in 2002. And it frankly was very, very helpful for the city and the community to help us guide through some of the tools that could be used to invigorate the complacent private investment at the time, as well as the complacent public investment at the time. Those tools help close some gaps. For example, it was cost $20,000 more per apartment unit to develop downtown than the outer reaches of the city of Columbus. Develop tax abatements, a streetscape program, a housing tax rebate effort, a downtown housing fund, and as well as helped us focus on certain areas of concentration. So in 2002 at the Southern Theater, we packed the theater with people who were interested in what is the future of downtown. Some of you may have been there. And that long-term strategy is now the document we use between 2002 and today. And we listened to our citizens, we got input from businesses, and we set 5 clear goals with a clear message. And that goal is that downtown is everybody's neighborhood. That one of the 5 goals was to build more downtown housing, bring more people down into the downtown area to help populate it, because it's difficult to have the amenities of retail and other things unless there's a market to sell it to. And there was not a market. So we had to bring people downtown and develop a housing pattern downtown. Secondly, we wanted to provide new mixed-use development around City Center and Gay Street. Well, we'll talk more about that because I think we've been very successful in that regard. And then thirdly, we wanted to upgrade the downtown office market, because at the time, the vacancy rate was somewhere around 26, 27%, really the highest in the nation at the time. And it had developed into a crisis, frankly, at that time. And we tried to address that, and we'll talk more about that later on in this program. And one of the efforts, the fourth effort, was to reinvigorate the riverfront with riverfront parks and a promenade. And we'll talk more about South Mile and the great things we're doing there, as well as North Bank Park. And finally, we wanted to improve parking, transit options, movement of cars. And, you know, downtown was a place where you got out of quickly at the time. 5 o'clock, there was an exodus to the suburban communities, and people looked at their watches and got on 3rd Street and 4th Street and Long Street and Spring, and got the heck out of town, out of downtown. And we wanted to change that. We wanted to make it more pedestrian, more inviting, slow down the traffic, get people to stop and spend more time in many ways. And we've had 5 downtown plans since 1908. Every one of them, we've taken the city and our forefathers and took pieces of it and applied it towards that time. Downtown is a massive area, 960 acres of land, a huge area. Now, the good thing about that is that we have a big downtown. It's larger than most downtowns in the entire country of cities our size. The bad thing about it is it provides for acres and acres of parking lots, acres and acres of underutilized land, and we didn't do very good planning back a long time ago. And even with all this property downtown, there was very little green space, because green space and parks really add to the value and the quality of life of people. Why was downtown important, and why does it remain to be important? As I said then and as I say now, downtown is everybody's neighborhood. It is the one place where every resident has an ownership interest in, a stake, a vested interest in its success. It is the economic engine of the region. When it's successful, the entire community is successful. Frankly, most of our city revenue comes from the employment base downtown. Some 100,000 people live downtown, not live, work downtown. We're working on the living part, but work downtown. And we're an income tax city. So every job that's created and every employee in parts of our city, we, as you know, we now take 2.5%. And that pays for neighborhood improvements, that pays for police and fire, that pays for roadway improvements, it pays for the quality of life of our city, and is the revenue generator. And downtown is also the very basic place, the center point, the epicenter of our cultural amenities, our culture, our entertainment, our workforce, and frankly, our community's identity. So downtown is an important place. We want to make sure that it continues. Parking was a problem as well. Traffic flow was a problem, as I talked about. But it all started back in 2002. And frankly, we've come a long way, very long way, in a very short period of time. Thanks to the support of the community, thanks to the support of our neighborhoods and everybody around. And it all started with Alex Shoemate, who chaired the task force related to developing this downtown business plan. This was an outreach effort unlike I'd ever seen up to that point. And I want to thank Alex for the work then and the work that he's done since then. Alex?